Hey friend, how you doing? Hello mom, how are you? Hey Lucky, how you doing? All right. We got our people coming in over here on Instagram. How y'all doing? Y'all so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining. All right, it's that time. Y'all know I give people about 2 minutes, 2 minutes to come on in. Hello, love. How are you? All right. So, can y'all see me over here real good on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube? Everybody, hello. Mom, how you doing? I love you. Adjustment just a little. My apparatus seems to be wanting to hang low. We ain't gonna do that. All right. All right. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hello, Toy. How are you? I'm so excited to see you on. All right. So I love y'all. Oh, y'all making me so excited today. So good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Real Resilient Conversations. I am your gracious host, Quita Quee. It is my indeed pleasure to say it is Monday, and I have something so amazing to share with you. So what I want to get started is to do some housekeeping. It is the end of the month, so I hope y'all ready for the end of the month. Hey. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off. So whether you're alone, you with somebody, you cuddled up, you're doing it on live, you're watching it on rebroadcast, either way, I thank you so much for taking the time out to come and hear what we have for today and how to make a more resilient you. So the way that we do that is every 2 weeks, which is on the second and fourth Monday, we talk about ways to become more resilient. So I say that because usually on the second and fourth, we are here at 8:30 every time. If you, for some reason, we are not here, please, please, please don't hesitate to contact me. It's usually a technical difficulty, unless I'm hurting. Okay, wonderful. Thank y'all so much. All right, so it is my assignment to empower you, to give you the skill that you need to be to get through from the day to day. So all I ask is that you would like, share, subscribe, if not for you, but for someone else who may be in need of hearing this wonderful information. Are y'all excited? I hope y'all excited. So we're going to start off by saying, where are my bi-weekly returnees? My bi-weekly returnees, let me see some hearts in the chat. Let me see something in the chat so I know that you're there. My bi-weekly returnees, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Hey. So thank y'all so much for coming. Those that come on my second and fourth, you are the real MVPs. Hello, thank y'all, the real MVPs. And so today's we are going to continue on with the emergency broadcast system. So if you have not tuned into the emergency broadcast system, I truly hope that you will go back and watch that on the second Tuesday. Second Monday. It was amazing. So for those of you that come every second and fourth, help out my new people. What do? We go ahead and figure out, right? What does emergency broadcast system have to do with today's topic as far as resiliency goes? And the reason I say that, hey, is because we got some new people, we got some new faces. Thank you all for joining in. I haven't seen you, so if it's your first time, thank you so much. Give me a little bit of your time. I promise to try and make it stay within my 30-minute range, okay? All right. So those of you, put it in the chat what you think resiliency has to do with the emergency broadcast system. And while you're doing that, I want you to think about how you could identify with the emergency broadcast system. Does that make sense? And really, when you're talking about the emergency broadcast system, most people think, Quita, what does that have to do with resiliency? It doesn't seem to correlate. However, today, last time we talked about the mental, spiritual, and emotional aspect of the emergency broadcast system, but today we're going to talk about the time, talent, and the skills. Okay? So with that being said, let's go back and let's talk about what those effects, right? What's some of the effects that you all think are relevant when we were talking about the mental, physical, and the spiritual aspect? Anybody? And while y'all are typing that in the chat, we're going to press on, but I'm giving y'all the opportunity. This is like a little classroom, right? So, hello. How y'all doing over there? I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted because I do have two different apparatuses going on. Today's topic may be for you. It may not be for you, but if so, please like, share, and subscribe for those that may. And make sure you hit that little notification bell. It's important, okay? So you won't miss out on the good stuff we got coming. If you notice, I'm going to try and get more content out. Even if it's a short clip, I'm going to work on that because someone has asked for it. I will make sure and ask for the opportunity to put those clips in and give you a little bit more content during the week. Is that okay? That sound good to y'all? All right. So we will be covering the 3 areas that, like I said, time, talent, and skills. What area do you think you identify most with? So when you're talking about time, talent, and skill, which one, if you could do the top 3, which one do you think, in what order would you put those 3? Okay. And so when we're talking about time, because that's going to be the first one, which is usually, at least for me, that's the one that I identified with first. And so with time, of course, what alerts do you feel are going off in your life right now in reference to your time? Okay. Is that warning giving you an emergency signal saying, hey, have you been neglecting your time? Have you been making good use of your time? And if not, what are you doing to rectify the situation and make it more feasible, more realistic? Okay. So what do y'all think? What do you think time, when you're talking about time, what have you been neglecting in your life as far as time goes? Okay. Still thinking. Okay. So this is a test. It's only a test, but I really want you to look at how you feel when you are rushing, you're procrastinating, you're performing jobs that are mediocre, when it's not your best, when you are not reaching your goals. What do you see when you evaluate those feelings, those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions? Right? Okay, exactly. You're neglecting to sleep. Right? Facebook, she's saying she's neglecting to sleep. And when you neglect sleep, what do? Right? How does your body react? How does your thinking, your thoughts, your emotions, what happens when you don't get enough sleep, right? And you're neglecting those hours and those times that you need to rest and let your body rejuvenate, right? Do you feel distracted? Are you impatient? Are you frustrated, anxious, right? Easily overextended. I am one of those that's easily overextended, y'all. And I get a little frustrated driving. I think I have road rage, just a little bit. All right. You feel like there's not enough time in the day, right? You're looking at it, you're like, I just don't have enough time in the day. And so you're experiencing what we call burnout, right? And if you have time, go back and look at one of the series I have on burnout. It was amazing, talking about how we deal with burnout. And maybe we'll revisit that later on in 2024. Okay. So, okay, Pam, she says she's also neglecting praying, right? So when you are neglecting praying, if you go back to last week's episode, you'll see we talked about that spiritual need and that spiritual, how your spirit, the effects of when your spirit is being called and you're not taking heed to it. Does that make sense? I could not get that thought out. Oh, goodness. All right. So if you answered yes, this is your emergency broadcast system. It is not a test. It is to warn you. It is to warn you that your time management is in jeopardy. You should seek self-discipline immediately. Seek self-discipline immediately. And I repeat, this is not a test. Your time management is at jeopardy, and you should seek self-discipline immediately. So would you move differently if that warning was going on in your life? If it warned you that your time management was at risk, would you move differently? Would you start to put things in place in order to make sure that your time management and that you had the self-discipline in order to properly manage your time? right? And once you heard that it's not a test, or once you heard that it was a test, or that it was not a test, I'm sorry, that it was not a test, meaning, would you be afraid to make the proper adjustments, or would you go ahead and adhere to the warning and start to make sure that you can get yourself to a safe space, or a safe place in your thinking, in your organization, in your time management? Okay. And so most people don't take uh they don't take the breaks that they need, meaning that they're speeding, no brakes, right? All gas, no brakes. That's usually me. My roommate will tell you, my mama will tell you soon. Pam will tell you soon, and Ed. It's all gas, no brakes. And then when I burn out, then I'm like, oh goodness, I've overextended myself, I've overcommitted, and now I don't have the energy, nor the time, nor the strength to do what I need to do in order to be successful. And so when you are doing that, and you end up hearing that your own self discipline is at risk, what reasons um, would you not take the time to do something that's important for you? So if it's important to you, you would do the things to make sure that that time management is taking the appropriate steps to be beneficial for you. Does that make sense? All right. So, what are some things that you could do to help with your time management? Right. So you've got the warning. It's telling you this is not a test. Right. It is a active warning. So what you can do, set some reminders in your phone. Like we have no excuse. Back in the day, maybe if they only had pen and paper, but we have our phones that have Siri, Google, Alexa, you name it. We can put it in our phone for reminders. We can put it on it will ring to remind you. Like I have it set up to remind me every Sunday to clean out the refrigerator because I know that Monday is trash day. But there's a reminder every week. So now I don't miss out, right? And when you're talking about giving your task a time limit, you're saying, okay, for me, every morning after prayer, I go through and I start to organize my day. What do I have to get done today? What tasks do I need to do? I'm only going to give myself an hour. I'm only going to give myself 30 minutes, right? Make sure that you give your task a time limit. You want to block out whatever distraction. So if you have children, do it. Why don't you put them to sleep, right? Instead of watching TV, what are you doing to make sure that you are taking care of the things that you need to take care of for you or for your business, right? And so you want to make sure that you give yourself that time limit, but you block out all distractions. You put away the phone, you get off social media, you turn off the TV. I'm bad about that, right? And so we want to block out those distractions in order so you can start to establish a routine. For me, I talk to my mom every morning, and then I pray, and then I start to lay out how the rest of my day is going to go. Okay? And when you're doing that, what do? You are setting yourself up for at least starting on the right path for time management. Okay? Do we feel safe enough to say, let's head over to talent? Y'all ready? All right, we're going to talent. All right, so talent. What do you think talent is? Put it down there in the comment section just so I can know before I get ready to get it to you, because I know my time is tight. What do you think talent is, and how does talent exactly. We have the Infinity of Wealth over here on Instagram, and she's saying how, very well said, time management is very important, right? And you have to be accountable for your time management. And you can't say, well, somebody would have called me. Well, if I wouldn't have had to go and do this. You have to be very diligent about your boundaries when it comes to your time management. And I was really bad about that. Probably within the last year, I'd be like, I'm sorry, it's not in the schedule. I don't have time to add it in, because now that's going to push something else back, right? When you are very diligent and you are very disciplined with your time management, then that jumps into a healthier, more organized you. It can help with your mental health as well. So talent. Talent is the information that's given to you by birth, right? You are born with that. Nobody can say, oh, I gave you that talent. Oh, I taught you how to do that. That's something different, which we're going to talk about, right? But that information never changes throughout our lifetime. It is engrafted in us. When you have a talent, right? Think about the things that you are like, oh my goodness, they're talented. Wood carving, glass blowing, singers, dancers, entertainers, musicians, athletes, right? Uh, People that are creative and build things to make our life more easy, right? Or easier. Sorry, more easy. That's not the proper English. Sorry. Make our life easier. These are the things that I'm like, oh my goodness, they are born with a talent and a gift, and we're going to talk about skill here in a little bit, but a talent that is so amazing as far as what we have to give, right? So what alerts do you feel are going off in your life that warn you that you are not properly managing those talents? What would those alerts sound like to you, right? And do you feel like this is a test? Because it is. So I want you to look at how you feel when you are limited in how you allow to think, when you are afraid to speak up, when you feel like that you're failing. What does that feel like when it comes to your talent? When for me, like, what things are you afraid? Well, okay, let me go back. What are those things that you feel like you could do that would make you stand out, right? Like for me, I can speak in front of a crowd of 3, 1, a million. It makes me no difference. I'm still going to have my personality. I can still get out there and do this, and I can say that, and I can still smile, and I can still make sure that the crowd feels like they are a part of the conversation. Okay. But for others, that fear is so real. They're like, no, thank you. You can do that. I'll be behind the scenes. That's where I am. All right. But understanding that my talent is engrafted in me. No one taught me how to speak. No one taught me how to entertain. No one taught me how to make people feel like they've known me for years. No one has taught me that. That is just something that I was born with. That is my talent, right? And how I make other people feel wanted and desired. And I need you in this, right? They feel like they're a part of something. Anytime people feel like they're a part of something, then they give you the opportunity to say, what can I do to bless you? Right? Your talents, let your talents put you in higher places, put you in rooms that you didn't even know your name was being spoken of, right? And I know that we come from different backgrounds, different ways of life, but when your talents are there, are you cultivating your talents? And how are you cultivating your talents? And if you are not, is it because you're thinking, I'm not good at anything anyway? Nobody has ever told me I do anything great. I think I'm pretty good at this. I'm kind of good at that. Whenever you are having those thoughts, you are putting in self-doubt and you are lowering your self-esteem. You have automatically spoken negative to yourself, and now your body has to respond to that thought. You understand? It has to respond to the way in which you have told it that your talents are. So my question is, are you ready to cultivate your talents? Are you ready to figure out how to engage and embrace what your talents are? So over here on Instagram, she said, talent is naturally born with, and love the way you are breaking it down. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Mom. If you answered yes, and you said you are ready to cultivate, right? I want to say this is an emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Your talents are at jeopardy. I earnestly pray that you seek talent exploration. What is talent exploration? What is talent exploration? How do you explore a talent and you don't even know it's there? That's the question. And so when you're thinking, if this was the warning and you were given ways on how to get to a safe space where you felt safe to embrace your talents, how would you do it? Right? And so look back at your past. Look back at the things that you enjoy doing. Look back at the things that people said, oh my goodness, you are so great at that. Look back. Just take time down memory lane. Go and sit outside out in the park, out in the backyard, relax with the breeze. Think back, right? At the beach, yeah, right? Look back, right? What are the things that you do for pleasure? Evaluate what those activities are, how they made you feel, And take a personality test. I used to take a personality test, I don't know, at least once or twice a year when I was in the military, right? Because I wanted to know what things were changing about me, right? But I was interested in that. I wanted to know how I could become a better me. And that goes back to how I can help you become a more resilient you. I have to understand what Quita is going to do and what God has given Quita in order to give it back to you. Does that make sense? And so taking the personality test also showed me the things that I'm good at. If I'm good at speaking, making others feel important, right? The things that you can do is go ahead and take those tests in order to say, okay, this is what, these are the things that are important to me, and this is how I break things down. This is how I understand things. And because of that, now you understand a little bit more about yourself. Now you can put those skills and talents into another search engine, and then that search engine can go ahead and show you the type of jobs that you may be good at. Right? So when you're looking for a job, you're wondering why you feel unfulfilled. It's because your talent has been stifled. They have not allowed you to express who you really are. You have had to cage it in, right? And you know the song or the saying, I know why the caged bird sings. It's because its talent is still there, but it's just not allowed to, right? That's how I view it. And so you have to, like I said, find what makes you feel strong. Finding out what you spend the most money on. Oh, how many of y'all are some spenders? Well, when I have it, because it's in circulation right now. It hasn't come back to me. It is in circulation. Will you know what you spend your money on? If it's food, are you a foodie? Do you like to go and travel? Then if so, are you looking at being a, what is it called, an influencer for a travel company or for different agencies? Do you like to shop? Then are you looking at how you can help other people dress? Are you looking at how to put things together? Are you looking at, right, having your own Amazon store? Whatever that might be, right? Ask your friends, ask your family, ask them to tell you what you're good at. And if so, what were your best and worst qualities? And it's important for you to ask, what things am I really good at? And what things do you think I still can work at, right? And the thing is, you have to go in with an open mindset. In order to grow your talent, you have to be there with an open mindset. You have to allow people to show you and guide you whenever you are going off the road. They say, you're off the road, come on back. You're in the grassy path, let's come on back, right? And so ask your family. Also, what did you love to do as a child? What is it that you said you wanted to be when you were a child, and why? So for me, I wanted to be a neonatologist. So I wanted to take care of the brand new newborns that still needed some love and care and understanding, how to make sure that they were taken care of appropriately. That's what I wanted to be, until I realized how long you had to go to school. However, that nurturing, that love, that sensitivity never went away. I still care about people and what I can do to help you become a more resilient you, to make sure that your life, your day to day, is still a one that you feel comfortable with, one that you feel proud of, right? And so, really ask those questions. Those questions could really break you out of your shell. It can get you out of that cage, and that's what I'm here to do. All right. So, are we ready to go ahead and explore skills? We're ready to explore those skills. Alright. So, skills. Most people confuse skills and talent. What do you think the difference is, and why do you think there's a difference? Right? And the skill part is something that you're taught, right? And the skill part is something that, if you think like over time, like it's a repetitive thing, is something that's taught. So kind of like if someone is learning how to play the guitar, like it was not something that they grew up and they could pick up a guitar and they could just play, right? Or people that know how to play the piano without anyone teaching them, without them ever hearing anything. They heard a song and they just knew what keys to press, right? That is talent versus a skill when someone has to teach you how to play the piano. Does that make sense? Someone who comes out the womb 4-year-old knows how to play Mozart. That's talent. Someone who goes to a instructor or a teacher and says, "Can you teach me how to play the piano?" and you're still doing "Mary Had a Little Lamb." Huh? The difference, right? And so, if you think about people who have to learn how to speak another language, those are the things that we do that are skill based. Okay, so what alerts do you feel are being sent to you in reference to your skills? What do you think you have been neglecting when it comes to your skills? Right? And skills are what you are trained to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, what I want to say is, once again, this is not a test. This is not a test. I really want you to think about it, because the test would be asking yourself, do you feel insecure about your skills because now you're scared to try something new? Do you feel that you're not meeting the expectations, and so you're like, never mind, I don't really want to learn it because the expectation is going to be for me to get it, right? When you are doing that, you have poor concentration, you're daydreaming, you are stressed out because you don't know how to handle uh, not knowing. The not knowing, right? The unknown is always a fear. You don't know if you're going to do it right. You don't know if you're going to um, meet the expectation. You don't know if you're going to do it and then you're going to hate it. And now you have to pay, you paid all this money to learn how to do it, right? And do you feel valuable? Do you feel heard? That's going to make a big difference in learning a skill or enhancing your skill. Do you feel bouts of irritation and fatigue because you feel like nobody is there to help you cultivate your skill, to grow your skill? I remember when I tried to learn how to speak Spanish, and now I'm in San Antonio. Of course, I need to learn how to speak Spanish. Y'all don't get on me, right? Learning how to speak Spanish, and I kept doing the same thing over and over again, but it was not clicking, right? And every time I just got frustrated. So my bouts of irritation, I was tired of trying, and then I just gave up, right? My insecurities was keeping me up at night because I felt like I was a failure. You understand? The skill part was someone needed to teach me. But if someone was talented, they were engrafted with how to teach Spanish. They are excited about it. They feel good about it. They wake up and they're like, who can I help learn this language so they can be more versatile? It's done. When they go to teach the person who needs the skill of how to speak a language, they will be so passionate that the person that's learning is going to say, this works for me. This is where I want you to be. Making sure that the person that has the talent comes to meet the person that needs the skill. Does that make sense? So, if you focus on what other people think about you and your skill, do you think that that would hinder your lack or hinder your level of creativity? Do you think that that would make you feel like you don't need to improve on anything or even learn anything? And I think here in America, at least, people are so scared of learning new things because they don't want to be the person that stands out, right? Could it be that you need to learn, your skill could be learning communication, could be something for leadership, could be something for management, in the problem solving aspect of it, or like I said, just something new. For me, this whole technology thing, learning how to make sure that I have a team set up to help me, this is still something new for me, right? But the skill is, once we do it on a repetitive thing, now the skill is there. Now we can help teach the next person at least. We can at least guide them through it. Does that make sense? And so if you struggle answering the questions, once again, this is the emergency broadcast system. It is not a test. Your skills are at jeopardy. Seek skill acquisition. Seek skill acquisition. What is skill acquisition, Quita? How do I seek skill acquisition, right? Skill acquisition can help you to perform the functions like what you need for your job or the industry, the life that you're trying to obtain. But in order to do that, you have to go through and do this practice thing. You have to commit to it. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm failing at it," but you have to commit to it. Even if you're not as good, what kind of things can you do? On the job training, apprenticeship, reading books, watching podcasts, going to workshops, like I said, webinars, taking a class. See yourself through it at least. And then at the end, if you say, "Well, I tried it, but it's not, it's not for me," right? I know that I like to carve wood. It's just I'm not the best at it. But I like wood carving. I like anything that I can get the saw out and turn that button and whatever the little wheel that goes in a circle. And I can put it down on that wood. It makes me feel like I am doing something. I am building something, right? But I know that skill is not for me. It's not the best thing. I love to do it. It's just not for me, right? People that know how to bowl, they can go bowling. That skill is great for them. That is not my best skill, right? But if you notice, they still go. Someone had to be committed to learning how to bowl. They had to be committed on how their hand needed to be. They needed to be committed on if their arm was straight, how their elbow looked, how their shoulder felt. Was it too far up? Was it too far back, right? Understanding exactly what they needed to do in order to build that skill. So if you notice at the end of the emergency broadcast system, they don't really tell you all of the details. They just tell you, this is your warning. Seek X, Y, and Z. So now if you need to seek someone to help you with your time, seek self-discipline. If you need someone to help you with your talent, seek what? Talent exploration. If you need someone to help you with your skills, seek skill acquisition. All right. So thank you so much for joining. I hope that, I know I have went over my time by a couple minutes. However, I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. And I hope that I pray that I said something that helped to jump your resiliency, if not for you, but for you and your future generations to come. And please, 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 like I said, if I said anything that blessed you, that resonated with you, please share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. I will start trying to get more shorter content out, just so you all can get clips throughout the weeks to come in between like that 2 weeks. I know y'all get to missing some good stuff. So until then, make sure that you come back on the 13th of November. Goodness, can y'all believe we're already in November? Come back on the 13th of November and we are going to be talking about the bucket and the well. We're going to start a series called The Bucket and the Well. And I know you're like, this girl comes up with things. God give it to me, and then he shows me how to give it to you. All right, so The Bucket and the Well will be starting on 13 November. Until then, same place with the same face. I love y'all. I love you. I love you. Go in love, peace, joy, and happiness all over your life. Until then, see you soon. Bye-bye.